Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hat pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I...
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the CSRL GT Series season finale as we are here at the Nurburgring GP circuit. Not the big old Nordschleife, and not the one that takes about 16 hours to get around for one lap. This is a little bit quicker out here tonight, and we'll see these drivers out here for quite a bit of laps. 2-hour season finale, double points on the line. We'll get into to everything, just kind of getting all these settings up and running on my side. So hopefully we are we're going to be good to go now for all the broadcasting coverage for CSRL. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. We're going to get this thing running here right away as we're on to the front stretch right now. It is Craig Jancic, Noah Bourgeois on the front row. No surprise right there, as Noah Bourgeois is your pole sitter, and the number 24. That looks like the Dale Earnhardt number 3 out there right now. But heading around the final corner, we're going to get the green flag waving here for the start of 2 hours for the finale here tonight. And you see Barney in the little glass there. That is not technically the official start. It's down a little bit further. And now they are going to get the green flag, as you see Barney number 2 down there, and 3 Barneys here tonight. But down into turn number 1, definitely a tight section to start this thing off. Carl Hamworth joined in the booth by not only Jimmy Covert, but also Gary Breland joining us here tonight for his CRN debut. Jimmy, I'll start with you. The Nürburgring GP circuit doesn't get touched a lot here, but this first section wastes no time coming after you.
Yeah, you see already a few drivers having some issues going around there as them cold tires always take effect. Yeah, this track is plagued with a bunch of twisty turns and some hairpins, and minus the good old down through the woods area where that we endure for the 24-hour event. But yeah, kind of a nice twisty track here. Good I think all around. So it should be exciting here for 2 hours. I haven't ran this specific track much, but so I've been around this part of the track. Excuse me, everybody. But you know, obviously it would take me 8 minutes to get back around and go around each corner. So yeah, this track is it's a lot of fun. This track here I do actually like, and it's one of my favorites actually.
Well, real quick, I'll just take a rundown of the order that is out here tonight. 26 drivers here on tap, as we got Noah Bourgeois leading the race, Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner, Jason Phillips, and Ricky Renner for your top 5. Chris Hamilton, Frank Pisano, Christian Ortiz-Torres, Dace Keeling, Devin Young, Cesar Colon-Torres, Trent Blaylock, Tyler Torville, William Burrell, and Dave Tilford for your top 15. And you got Alain Below, Michael Schwartz, Herbert Pineda, Glenn Lazan, Jay Little for your top 20. And the rest of the 26-car field, Jim Dutton, Paul Bailey, John Espada, Avery Pedley, Stephen McLean, and Stephen Price for your 26-car field. We'll take a look back here real quick before we bring in our third commentator and see what kind of issues we had. I know we had some issues right there at the start of the race, so we'll go back to the green flag and take a look back a little bit further in the field. I want to say it was around maybe Stephen McLean here towards the middle of the pack, heading down to turn number 1. It gets so tight here. It's so wide, but the corner is so tight here, and you see right here, it looks like just some cars trying to go for extra real estate, 4 wide there, and a couple of the CSRL cars getting tangled up together, but everyone gets away pretty cleanly here, and we're off and running here for the 2-hour season finale. And welcome in our third commentator, Gary Breland. And Gary, first of all, welcome to the CRN booth. Welcome to the Nurburgring GP. I know you just purchased this circuit, so you're getting your first taste here at in Germany.
Yeah, excited to be here. Definitely new to this side of the racing. Definitely used to the oval circle tracks, but there's been no short of excitement here this early start here. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the race goes.
Yeah, now one thing you said you were looking forward to getting in the booth is seeing a different side of it, and it's definitely a different side when you're up here in the booth, and really there's a different side of it when you go from the oval to the roadside as well. You see, you still see some racing, you still see some battling, but you kind of have to work and set it up just like you do on the ovals, except you have more than 2 corners to try and set it up. Well, there's more than 2 corners on the track, but there may only be 1 or 2 corners you can actually set up a pass. You got to really kind of work on it and figure out where the heavy braking zones are.
Absolutely. I'm watching Michael Schwartz now, and that looks to be what he's doing. He's just following the rest of the pack in front of him, you know, biding his time. It looks like passing is going to be a premium tonight, so.
Yeah, Jimmy, there's a few passing opportunities here. I would say, you know, if you get a good run down into the chicane there at the end of the lap, you can send in there on the inside, and you and the car that you're trying to work on the pass with kind of needs to make a decision. Are you really going to battle through the S's or through the chicane and try and both make it through there, or is somebody going to yield and give it that position? And certainly in turn number 1 is another spot where you have a long straightaway heading into that turn. It's a little bit of a kink before you get to turn number 1, and you almost have to kind of prepare for that and maybe set up your braking zone at the right area, because you don't want to be turning and braking at the same time.
Yeah, you only have so much grip on the tires, Carl, and if you're applying brakes, you have less, so you end up sliding for the most part. And if you put too much rear brake into the car, you can end up just bringing the rear end around, just kind of like if you're riding like a big wheel or something when you're a kid. So
good times.
Definitely good times, you know, and they can have good times here too, but maybe not so much if they end up picking up a meatball flag or a damaged car. But right now, off out front is Noah Bourgeois with Craig Jancic following. It's been pretty much those two kind of running around all season long, chasing each other. Bryce Reiner out there in P number 3, Jason Phillips in 4th. 5th is going to be Ricky Renner. Christopher Hamilton out there in 6th, Frank Pisano's in 7th, Christian Ortiz Torres in 8th, and Devin Young in 9th, and Cesar Cullen Torres up there in 10th. So far so good. 26 drivers out here tonight, Carl, and everybody's kind of settling down. It does look like Jim Dutton and Steve McLean are falling back because they maybe were involved in some earlier issues, along with Tyler Torville down 13 spots, currently back in P number 24. And kind of a thing here is, you know, obviously we've always talked about the ability to, if you have a mistake, being able to come in, get it repaired, and then go back out, and you'd have enough fuel to go the rest of the way. Well, tonight, that's not the case. They are going to be out here for 2 hours, and that's plenty of racing. That is a lot of laps, and it might come back in a different way. So, you know, if your car is seriously damaged, then, yeah, you want to come in and get it fixed. But, you know, if it's drivable and not too far off pace, you might want to think about staying out. You know, it's kind of a give and take. The drivers have more decisions tonight in 2 hours, which is also worth double points. So it could mean, you know, finishing, you know, first in a championship, or, you know, losing out by a couple points. So, yeah, a lot of decisions to be made here by these drivers, and they've been racing all season long. Some great battles every track, pretty much. And then, you know, I don't think anything's going to be here any different. Obviously, the front few are kind of stretched out and spaced out to about 1 second interval in between them. But then you get back there again in right around that battlefield area that I like to call it, is pretty much 9th all the way back to like 17th. They're kind of in a line, and, you know, there's a little gap in here and there, but just that spot, Carl, like if you're a faster car, got to come up through here, it's going to be a challenge tonight.
Yeah, and picking the right car is a big thing, and that's something, Gary, that is not something you have to worry about on the oval side, unless you find yourself in a multi-class oval series. That's about the only thing I can think of. But here, you know, all these GT3 cars are different. For the most part, they're all, you know, right around the same type of speed, but, you know, certainly with some of them being front engine, some mid engine, some rear engine, the downforce for some of these cars is different. Some cars like to oversteer, some like to understeer. So you can really, you know, track dependency, decide on which car you want to run for that night. And a lot of times it's not just practicing the track itself, it's trying to figure out, okay, is this a track where, you know, I need a car that's built for speed, or is this a track where I need a car that's a little bit more nimble to get around through some of these corners? So it's learning the track and then learning what's the best car for the track. It's a little bit more involved to get you from point A to point B. But here tonight with 2 hours, it's some of these drivers coming off the Bathurst 12-hour. Certainly, this is nothing to them. This is one stint, if that, for, you know, the drivers coming from the Bathurst 12-hour. But there's a lot on the line. Like you said, there's double points on the line, and it doesn't matter if you're oval or you know, running on the road here. Championship finale with anything that's close amps up the pressure a little bit. And taking a look at the points coming in to the standings, just about wrapped up. I mean, it would take some a monumental effort or mistake by Nurburgring to lose the platinum class, as he comes in with a 57-point lead over Craig Jancic, just having a dominating season so far this year. And I mean, it's shown. And you know, we joke around about it, you know, kind of all the time, that if Bourgeois can get through lap number 1 and turn number 1, he's going to win. And so far, he's done that here tonight, and he's out to the lead by 2.75 seconds already here tonight. And it's nothing against Craig. He's definitely a fast driver too, but just seems like no one kind of has his number this season. In the silver division, the silver class, Ian Southern kind of doing the same thing. He has really put it to the rest of the silver drivers, as he has claimed a lot of top spots here this season, and comes into tonight with a do some quick math, a 76-point lead over John Espada. So I don't think there's, even with the double points, any chance for Espada to be able to catch him here tonight. The only one that is close is the gold class. Frank Pisano comes in with a mere 28.5 point lead over Christian Ortiz Torres, and another 3 points back to Herbert Pineda in the third place. So with the double points on the line, definitely some championship on the line here tonight. And looking at the gold class right now, Frank Pisano is leading in the class with Devin Young in second. Christian Ortiz Torres back there in 11th place overall, third in the gold class. And then you got to look back to 15th or 6th place in the gold class for Herbert Pineda.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job with those the gold drivers. You know, it's a lot of great battles this season within that division, and you know, obviously they're in that battlefield too. So there's a lot of drivers around that same skill level. Find themselves maybe some rivalry, you know, week in and week out, you know, with the same drivers, and you know, it's been tough, and that's why I think the points are so close. You know, the platinum drivers, I mean, they're obviously they're platinum for a reason, and you know, they're usually up there. They're chasing one another. There's not much change. They have to rely on, obviously, their knowledge of the track, their ability to get around no matter what track it is, no matter how new it is. And if you are behind another platinum driver, typically the only true way to get around is they make a mistake, Carl, whether it's in the pits or on the track.
Yeah, so far from what you've seen out here, Gary, you know, what are your thoughts on the GT series here, and certainly the track here at Nurburgring? I know it's definitely a little bit different than, you know, the oval side. I know you guys, you know, touch tracks like Watkins Glen, and occasionally go to like Road America and things like that. But Nurburgring is definitely got its own little flair.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. You know, we just came off of a COTA race the other night.
Yes.
And
you want to talk about flair?
yeah. I was fortunate enough to win. Look, I love road courses. Being the oval guy, I love when we get to go to a road course and you know, turn right every once in a while. So it's nice to see. This track looks, you know, with these cars, looks like a whole different animal. Watching these guys set up runs, make moves, just battle with one another, turn, and you know, every turn, it's crazy to watch. It's really, really cool.
Well, and one thing that these cars got, Gary, that oval cars got, is they got some downforce. you guys don't really have that on the road courses for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's cool to see how they work. Like I said, you know, just setting up runs, setting up their passes. a lot, a lot spaced out and kind of falling in line, getting their groove. Like you said, this is a very long race. Well, for me anyway, not for these guys, but there's a lot of time. It's early on. The biggest thing is just not put yourself in a position to hurt yourself later on.
Yeah, and these drivers out here tonight will have 50% fuel, as mentioned earlier on here tonight by Jimmy. They're capped at 50% fuel for the race. So it's not like a typical race where they'll start with, I believe they start with 40% normally for their 45-minute races, and then they can come in really at any time, top that thing off at 100% and be good to go. Here, it's capped at 50, so they are going to have to make at least 2 pit stops, and actually, unless I'm thinking that we're going to have to make 3 pit stops here. Yeah, 3 pit stops here, and you got to be careful because of that 4th pit stop. I mean, depending on how much you're burning fuel, there's a lot of long straightaways here. Definitely good places to draft and maybe save a little bit of fuel, but if you're not careful, you could be bringing that splash and go there in for the final pit stop at the end, and you don't want to do that for sure. But right now, they're on the fastest lap of the race that last time by, and I guess Gary trying to make you feel a little bit at home here with a little bit of Dale Earnhardt paint scheme out there on your leader. Noah Bourgeois in the lead. He's got a 3.8 second lead over Craig Jancic in second. Bryce Reiner, Ricky Ritter, Jason Phillips for your top 5 leader in the gold class. You see him right here in the Ace Motorsports. Number 4 is Frank Pisano, your championship leader in the gold class. And then your leader in the silver. The silvers tonight actually back towards the back of the pack. Nobody able to get up there and mix it up with the big boys here tonight, as Jay Little is leading by about 3.5 seconds over Paul Bailey, Stephen Price, and John Espada, the other silver drivers here in attendance tonight. But Bourgeois just lap after lap is clicking off those fast laps, and I mean just really putting it to Craig here. I know it feels like a down year for Craig, but he's been second or first pretty much this entire season. To get dominated like this is not something we're used to seeing, Jimmy, in the 97.
No, and obviously, Craig maybe just off a little bit. Maybe with the car selections, they do run fixed setups here, so the only variance is well, I can't get a setup, I can't change the car, so can I drive the car faster, and what car is that, and how well does it do on fuel? Is it good on power? Is it good on drafting? And everything's a little bit different. Every car is a little bit different. You'd think they'd be pretty close, whether they're front engine or rear engine, and then you got the mid engines. They're all just slightly different in their own way. Some take curbs better than others. Some got a little bit better drafting. Some have a little better cornering, like that rotation in mid corner. Me personally, I love the McLaren. I'd probably be out here rocking that thing. That thing's nowhere to be seen here tonight, so maybe my guess is off, but it definitely is a balanced car for me, and it's usually a little tricky, and I know a lot of drivers don't care for it because at the higher RPMs of the McLaren, it can snap, and that just all comes down to throttle control. Well, throttle control equals fuel saving as well, so you don't want to be off the gas, full gas, off the gas, full gas, because that you're just burning more fuel. You don't go much faster if you can learn how to ease through your speed, with the application of your throttle instead of just punching it down the ground. You'll find yourself saving more fuel, which could equate in a longer race, staying out for a longer lap, and in a long endurance race, it could be missing a whole pit stop altogether. And it really does take a lot. I know I find myself in this not quite light switch situation, the on and off the gas, but it's just I maybe on the gas too much. I usually end up, when I'm in a team setting, for some reason I'm always burning about 1 lap less or more than the rest of my teammates.
Yes.
And
I'm right with you.
Like, Jimmy, how do you burn so much fuel? Well, I just pushed my foot to the floorboard, and it's all about throttle control. But yeah, you get out there, you do your thing, and just gotta hit your marks, and it's just like in on ovals, where you have the opportunity to kind of catch somebody in an oval like 10th after 10th after 10th. But in a road race, if somebody has a bad corner, because there's lots of corners, you can make up a half a second. You can make up a full second, just depending on how bad they messed up. But looking back here, I'm looking at Jim Dutton fighting it out back here with a bunch of drivers.
Back and forth with Tyler Torville.
Yeah, with Tyler Torville, just back and forth. Every week, Jim finds himself in a battle. And this week back there at P number 20, but it's still early, Carl. You know, we're only 18 minutes into this thing. So plenty of racing left here for CSRL for their finale. And obviously just want to mention that I will be stepping out probably in about 45 minutes or so. And we're going to pick up our second broadcast. They're still racing here tonight over at Pocono, the pit road speed limit racing in the next gen series. So I'll be joined over there by Mike Casey. Anybody that watches Sunday nights, the driver of the number 6, going to join me over there as well. And we're going to put on a good show for them drivers there tonight. So, but Gary's in here to, I don't know, maybe find that warm spot, get himself ready here for some broadcasting, and be part of the team here for CRN. And we look forward to always having new people on board, or at least you know, give them a taste of it, see if they actually something that they would like to do. It is we were talking to Gary here earlier before he came in, and you know, we're just kind of describing, even though me and Carl don't race every day, we do race every day. We're watching people, and it'd be surprising actually what you can take from watching people drive over and over and over again, how to handle a car, braking points, you know, stuff, you know, tracks that you typically don't go to much, and kind of, you know, you're sitting here, it's like watching review tapes of, like, if you're playing football or something, right, and you're going to go up against another team.
An issue here as, we'll take a look back here, excuse me, with Devin Young. It looks like this is going into the chicane. And maybe catching a little bit, yep, just catching the curb the wrong way. Points at 15 backwards, the 25 there of Dave Keeling, new driver here to the series, just kind of helps him out there. Unfortunately, Dave Tilford, nowhere to go in that Lamborghini. And finally, Devin Young backs up a little bit and is able to allow the rest of the field to go by, but that is going to drop Devin Young all the way down into 20th. And you see he took that 15 right into the pits right away. Not sure, it didn't look like too much damage to it. I can't tell if that front left tire is pointed the correct way or not, but he is going to bring it in to the pits and maybe get his first pit stop done and dusted. But yeah, the one other thing that I guess I can say that, you know, we mentioned, and I think we mentioned it last night, Gary, is that we had the Core Xfinity broadcast last night was at COTA, and we got to watch the Xfinity cars go around COTA last night, or I guess the new O'Reilly's cars, but they're still Xfinity for us for the rest of the season. But anyway, you know, you can take stuff from every different discipline here, whether you're on dirt, whether you're on road, whether you're on ovals. It all, you know, goes hand in hand with how you handle a car. Like, you know, when it comes to running at COTA, there's so many spots there, and I'm sure you know this very well from, you said, just winning. You got to be very cautious on the throttle, on the brake, on the steering input. You got to feel everything that car is doing, wants to do, what you don't want it to do. And it's not just on road courses. You feel that at short tracks as well. And, you know, running enough road courses eventually, you know, will get you better at short tracks as well, because you got to feel every little nuance and every little bump and, you know, backing up the braking or feeling how that car wants to over-rotate, anything like that.
Absolutely, Carl. I think that's the biggest difference between the oval guys and the road course or GT3. You know, just car control. That's what I'm seeing tonight. That's what's impressing me. The amount of car control that these guys have. You know, there have been hiccups here and there, nothing major. But overall, these guys know how their car handles, like you said earlier, with the car selection for the track. You know, it's cool to see. The short tracks, I agree 100%. You know, that style of racing is going to make you a better short track driver. You know, especially the Dovers. You know, that's a tricky track, or you know, it can be even down to a Bristol or Martinsville. You know, it's all about throttle control and car control as a whole. Off throttle time is, you know, the biggest thing that we ask for as NASCAR fans, and it's really cool to see these guys here tonight. Yeah,
and they have to, you know, kind of roll through some of these corners, especially right there, the hairpin is one of the corners where it is definitely a roll through a type of corner, and you have to wait to get on the throttle and get back going here again. But I mean, so far so good for a lot of the drivers here. We're a little bit over 20 minutes into this race. Still got plenty of racing left to go, but I want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As I know Barry's got multiple logins. I think he usually watches on his computer and on his phone, so he'll be able to maybe double dip and watch CSRL on one, and maybe watch Pit Road Speed Limit Racing on the other, and be able to do both back and forth here. But other than that, yeah, I'm actually just noticing that as well. We do have the driving line on, so everybody can see, and we'll get that off here. I believe that is. Trying to see here.
It's under your grab. That's under the.
It's under driving. It's driving aids. There it is. You want to see what the driving line is? All right. Well, nobody said out there, but luckily Jimmy's got me. He's paying attention for everyone out here.
I got everybody's back. I just happened to look over at the YouTube channel. I was like, why is that line?
I looked at it. I looked at it like so long so far in this race, and it just never dawned on me because I never use it, and it just never even fazed me.
Well, for the people out there, now notice that now it's gone. The green and red line, dash line that was on the track, that is iRacing's way to help newer drivers. And, when you have a brand new track, it's actually not a horrible thing. But so you do a couple laps, kind of learn where the corners are at, maybe just a little bit, and then turn it off. Don't want to start any bad habits. And that you need this thing because you don't get that driving line in many leagues. I think obviously CSRL has them on here for maybe somebody new that's coming in to kind of help them out. But you don't need that thing, and you can get fast without it. And it's best to, if you're going to use it, to kind of learn the track a couple times around.
It's a learning tool. That's about it.
Get rid of it. Yep. Get rid of it. Get rid of the crutch and the training wheels as soon as possible.
Now, Gary, if we ever hear you or anyone else is using the driving line on an oval, we may kick you out of the booth, out of the league, out of everything. If you can't figure out your way around an oval, we got some issues.
Left is left. Left is left, guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, so far, so good. Once again for Noah Bourgeois. He's got that Ford Mustang cooking here tonight. 5.5 second lead now over Craig Jancic, as it looks like he's kind of settled into a nice little pace right now. Still running in the low 156s. He's the only driver to get into the 155s. He's got a 155.88 for his fast time here tonight, which is about, what would you say to me, about 6 minutes faster than you would when you have the combined with Nordschleife here and the 155 plus turns and everything else. It's just a smidge faster here tonight.
Yeah, I'm usually right around 8:15 myself, Carl. But I know drivers can get around that whole track, and I guess pretty close to 8 minutes, if not under, in the top split. I'm not I'm no Max Verstappen by far, so. Getting around here, at a decent clip, and the amount of laps that I have at the full course here at Nurburgring is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, my wife has asked me a few times, like, you gonna be doing that much longer? I'll be like, I just got 2 more laps, and then like 20 minutes later, I thought you just had 2 laps.
Yeah, there was 2 laps.
That long. longest course in that, or on the service for sure. 177 turns in 1 lap. So if you're looking to get some safety rating, if you can keep it clean and keep it off the wall and keep some decent pace, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this one this year. It's one of the few tracks that I would love to get on the podium. A win would be great, but getting on that podium would be even better.
I think
I was talking to.
I settled with the top 10 or top 5 with how we've done in the past.
My teammates that I drove with for the Bathurst, we've finished the top like 6, 7, 8, like I don't know how many times, and we had a couple debacles pretty early on before I got in the car, and so put us kind of behind on this like weird pit strategy, and I was able to get the car to a point where far enough behind the guy in front of me, or behind me, where I was able to get a splash for the end and come out right in front of him. But car had a little bit of nose damage on it, so didn't quite have the aerodynamics to go down the straightaways like I wanted to, and took them about 2 laps to get around me, and I'd had like 3 more to go. So we ended up losing 4th place at the end, come back home in 5th. Again, another 5th place finish at Bathurst, but I mean, I can't complain too bad. Seen a lot worse, that's for sure.
Yeah, we were not exactly in a split that allowed us to get up to any kind of those positions. Even if we had a clean race, I think at best, pace-wise, we were on board for like a top 10, because the drivers in our session, I mean, our drivers' fastest lap on the entire team, all of us were in the 203s for our best time. I think our fastest lap for the entire team was like a 203.2. We had 10 to 15 teams running 202s consistently, not just for fastest lap. So we had no chance. We stood no chance at that one there. And I mean, we were content, I think, battling for a top 20 at the end, and I was pushing with all my might to get that top 20. And turns out we got 20th, but somebody DQ'd. I think they were only a solo driver or something. So, and I'm walking away with a P19, but. Yeah, we completed it. We got it done, and now we move on to Sebring for the next one. And definitely looking forward to that one. Won that one twice in 2 different classes, so not ready to take on that 3rd class. Not ready to do that GTP yet. Maybe next year. Maybe 10 years from now. Maybe never.
No,
but
yeah, we're gonna get you in that car, Carl.
Yeah.
I if any track that we do GTP. Daytona.
Probably.
It's because we know Daytona by the back of our hand.
Yeah, yep.
And it was a ton of fun. The one year that we decided to do it. Matter of fact, we finished really well, and we used a Road Atlanta setup for the car. The guys won't let me let that down, because I put the wrong setup in the car. Man, it handled like a dream in the infield, that's for sure. And had to use the battery and everything we could to keep that straightaway speed. We were fine as long as we didn't have anybody drafting us, but when they'd come up behind us, they just sucked right up to us. But in the infield, yeah, we just drove away from people. It was so it was kind of like give and take a little bit. But at Daytona, we all know that you need that straightaway speed to run people down and then be able to pass them for pole position. So we ended up finishing well, but we would have done a lot better if we would have been able to have the proper setup.
I mean, listen, I started, I don't know what race it was, but we started with the qualifying setup still in there, which I guess it's still for that track, but oh boy, it was sketchy for the entire race, because typically qualifying setups are a little bit more at edge. And didn't realize it was a qualifying setup until I got 3 laps into the race and realized I was out of fuel and had to come in and top that thing off. But yeah, between that and as Jimmy never lets me let it down, blowing the car up in pit lane while we're getting serviced, we've definitely had our downs as well as our ups, but certainly looking forward to maybe getting another endurance win at some point, maybe this season. But it is time for our first round of pit stops. The way it looks, we got our top drivers now coming in. We had a few come in already, but now looks like a lot of the top drivers coming in. Ricky Renner going to stay out there and run another lap, get himself a lap led here tonight. But Bourgeois, Jancic, Reiner, Phillips, and Hamilton all in pit lane. And this will be pit stop number 1, just past 30 minutes, 31 minutes now into this race. So on pace for 3 pit stops here tonight. And, there's, again, a couple that came in on lap 15. 1 or 2 that came in even before that. So they could be looking to have to stretch this thing out a little bit further to be able to make this thing on 3 pit stops. But either way, right now, Ricky Renner leads this thing. Looks like everybody else coming in on this lap. So maybe Ricky already planning on this thing's going to be 3 pit stops. And I'm going to try and stretch this thing as far as possible. And never know. Never know if the over pit works here, if the under pit works. But Bourgeois able to get back out in 2nd place, which will end up being 1st place again here very soon. He's got a 6-second buffer on what is 2nd place Craig Jancic at the moment, Bryce Reiner, Jason Phillips, and Chris Hamilton for your top 5.
Yeah, with Noah and Craig coming at the same time, I can only figure they're pretty much on the same fuel strategy. It's not like Craig's saving at all in order to stretch this thing out. And Ricky able to, hopefully gets back around to the pits. The pit entry for this track is pretty simple. It's not a hard one to really maybe you'd have to really drive like a bonehead to mess it up. But nice
my
and
beer.
easy, kind of out of the way. It is it is right before the last turn down the straightaway. So there's some obviously road courses where the pit lane can be challenging. I mean, we talked about Bathurst just a little bit, but the entry's easy, but you have to get it slowed down because it's like this big this snake that goes down into the pits. And I know a lot of people like to try to chop the corners and ride over the curbs without getting a black flag for a bad entry. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge there. But yeah, here comes Ricky Renner. So stretching out one more lap, it could equate to something that these drivers all need here for the end. We are now looking at the clock there. We're 33 minutes in, Carl. So I would say Ricky Renner's on pace to stop 2 more times after this.
Yeah, not sure. Looking here, Tyler Torville, not sure what happened to him. He pulled off the track, and looks like he is... he's towed. Yeah, he's towed into the pits. We'll take a look back at an earlier incident, see if that maybe cues us into what happened. Now, it looks like just off pace right here. Not sure what's going on with the 22, but he has since towed it in the pit lane, and we'll see if you see him back out there at all here tonight. We see something?
Back at time, it's 36:51, lap 17 for Tyler Torville. He just basically went off track and then he towed. It wasn't like he hit the wall. So.
Yeah, that's what we seen. Yeah, I seen him go off track, and not sure what exactly happened.
Oh, there's some more.
Oh yeah, there's a few. But I look back at another one and see still the same thing. But looks like he's got a black flag now as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Tied up.
But
yeah, there was another one he got tied up with. Who is that? Oh, it's another Ford. Who is that? The 69. He got tied up with the 69. Yeah. And Jim Dutton was there too.
So
and that's 2263.
So Gary, we talk about pit stops, and I know we mentioned it on our broadcast for like the Core Xfinity Series and even 191 and Pit Road and some of the other ones. As far as what you consider the most difficult pit stops out there when it comes to oval racing, I know for me, tracks like Darlington, tracks like certainly Dover come to mind. Are there any others that kind of frighten you when it comes to pit road entry?
I think Dover would be foremost in my mind.
Yes, that's number 1, 2, and 3, I think, on the list.
Yeah, I would agree. Under a green flag run, I don't know that it gets any harder. In the bigger races, I've seen people have trouble at Bristol with the dual pit roads.
Yep.
That's also sometimes a tricky one. Everything else seems to be okay. You're not going to have a lot of trouble at super speedways, Dega and Daytona.
That's Jimmy's favorite.
Get slowed down.
That's Jimmy's favorite.
Yeah.
Seeing the pack racing coming into the pits.
Yeah, I mean it's not usually too bad. Really, it's the short tracks and like you said, the Darlington, anything with a bit of bank and having to get down. The opposite of it, like in Atlanta. Atlanta's pretty easy. Coming off of turn 3 there.
Well, the old Atlanta, yes, but the new Atlanta, Echo Park, whatever you want to call it now, I kind of like that, and I wish more tracks would do that with the, kind of the access road coming in, because that is, you can gain or lose a ton of time on pit entry right there, having to enter on in turn number 3 there and take it on the apron the entire way around there. It all depends on how aggressive you want to get.
Absolutely. Speaking of pit stops, the Canadian Avery Pedley in the Motorcraft Ford Mustang, he appeared to run out of fuel. I was searching back, and he was just pattering on pit road and got passed.
Yeah, trying to see him.
He's back going now.
Looks like there it is. Entering pits, and you see him just barely made it to a stall. So I'm not sure if his crew or maybe another crew came out there and helped push that car to the stall, but he did at least make it back there in 25th, last car in the running right now with Tyler Torville still in pit lane. But Either way, it's been a good start here for a majority of the field, and we still got 25 out of the 26 cars running, and missing quite a few drivers out here tonight. Could be the track, could be the fact that it's a 2-hour season finale. They started about 15 minutes earlier than what they normally do. Could be that it's the last race of the season, and maybe some drivers feel that they're out of the points, so they're just kind of taking a break, taking a night off, taking a little breather, but. We will have some racing here again very soon for CSRL, as season number 16 is going to bring us multi-class racing. As we've mentioned and showed you before, it is going to be the LMP2s and the GT3s here in action next season. So it'll be real interesting to see who chooses what class that they want to run in, see if they're going to have classes within the classes as well, if they're going to be gold, platinum, silver like they have this season. It'll be real interesting to see how it plays out. So if you're looking to get into a multi-class GT series, definitely check them out here coming up for next season on Wednesday nights. And it's going to be brought to you again right here on CRN, as we have re-upped here with them, and looking forward to bringing on another season. Were you saying something, Jimmy?
My wife brought me some cake. I don't know what the heck it is. It's good. She just stuck it in my face. I was like, that smells good.
That's one of the things that Gary is gonna learn eventually. After you've been in the broadcast booth for a few years, you don't just talk about racing up here. As I'm sure you've seen if you watched any CRN broadcasts. There's always something that sends us off on a tangent, whether it's talking about video games or the cake that Jimmy's eating. There's always something that gives us something to chat about. Or I know we've had polls out there for which is the best Reese's shape, whether it's the hearts or the pumpkins. And yeah, it's anything and everything.
It's the Easter egg. There's no question about it.
I agree. It's you get the most bang for your buck. I agree.
That's right. And Jimmy, no complaints here. I've got a bowl of cheesecake in front of me as well. So.
Oh, that's just good.
Well, screw both of you guys. I'm sitting here with a pack of crackers in front of me that I haven't even touched yet because I can't do that while I'm broadcasting. But either way, it's been a right. It's been a good start here to the race. We're 40 minutes into this, so their typical night of racing, the 45-minute race, is really just about over, but they got a long way to go yet. They still got another hour and 20 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and step aside here for a moment and give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it. Sights and sounds here from the Casual Sim Racers League GT Series finale, as we are about at the halfway point here, 59 minutes in. Should see the second round of pit stops coming up soon. We do have a few cars in the pits right now, but I think they're still getting some repairs. On Tyler Torville, I think it's going to be done for the night in the 22. John Espada currently in the pits right now in 24th. Looks like he's in here for his second pit stop. Maybe a little bit early. We'll see if he can make it there and just one more stop for the race. But your leader has not changed. The only thing that's changed is the gap. It is now out to a 15.5-second lead for Nora Bourgeois at the front of the field. Bryce Reiner is now your man in second, and I've been trying to look back and see what exactly happened to Greg Jancic. I didn't find it myself. I'll keep looking back through here, but he is back now into third place. Jason Phillips and Chris Hamilton for your top 5. Then your top running gold division, your gold class driver, excuse me, is Frank Pisano still, as he's got a 2.8-second lead over Herbert Pineda, who has made his way up through the field. Remember earlier he was back there in 15th position. He's now up into 9th. So, still trying to fight his way up here, hoping that Frank Pisano has some kind of issues here the rest of the race and maybe has a chance at that championship after all. He is, again, 2.8 seconds back in 9th place. And then looking back at the silver, it is Paul Bailey leading now by 1 minute and 2 seconds. So almost probably about 2/3 of a lap here. Paul Bailey in front of Stefan Price. But Stefan Price did make a pit stop already, so that'll come down a little bit smaller for sure. Glenn Lazan now in the pits to make his second pit stop, but everyone chasing that number 24 here one more time. This is the closest battle here on the track that we're keeping an eye on between Christian Ortiz-Torres in 12th and 13th place. Trent Blaylock in number 2. As Jimmy, I know you're going to be getting ready to leave here pretty soon, but I mean, all in all here for another season finale here in CSRL, I think these drivers are doing pretty well.
Yeah, doing a fantastic job, knocking out these laps and putting in some good times. And, I was just kind of looking here, some of your kind of drivers that kind of note here this far, or at this point anyways, is Michael Schwartz up there, 7 spots, he's moved through the field here up in the P number 11. Dave Tilford's up 6 spots in 10th, and Herbert Pineda's up 6 spots. So kind of those drivers that have been battling there, that mid-pack, that battlefield that I like, has found their way kind of moving up through the field. Everybody else is pretty much where they started. Paul Bailey's up a couple spots from starting in the back, and so is Stefan Price. So like I said, there's some drivers that had some issues early and find themselves maybe out of the race at the moment, but it does look like 25 of the 26 drivers are still out there having a good time. And, Carl, we talked about, obviously, with an hour still remaining, yeah, I'm going to leave here shortly because I got duck out for pit road speed limit racing over at Pocono. But, something they haven't had to deal with, we say it during these finales, they haven't had to deal with this all season long. They're going 2 hours, not 45 minutes, 2 hours. And, typically, if they're used to doing endurance races or the special events, that's 2 full tanks of gas, and that's a typical, what you would do as a driver, minimum before a driver swap. So, it's something that you have to deal with here tonight, and obviously got multiple pit stops to deal with. So a little bit, I'm sure that is on their mind, and I think some drivers have that fuel strategy kind of nailed down. Might be why some of them started off a little bit slower. I got Noah Bourgeois coming in the pits now, short of that 1 hour mark, Carl. So it kind of leads you that he either needs to do a lot of fuel saving at the end, or
He's actually actually 1 hour 3 minutes right now, so he is actually a little bit over the hour mark here coming out of the pits with Bourgeois and Reiner. Yeah, looking at the iRacing. Yep. Yeah, and it's definitely been a good race for a lot of these drivers, and the fact that they're still hanging in there as long as they can. I think the fact that they only have a half a tank, it forces them for more pit stops, but I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives them maybe 1 or 2 extra breathers in the race. And in a regular race here, if this was a straight 2-hour race here at Nürburgring, you'd probably see 1 pit stop. You'd see these drivers try and stretch it out and make this thing on 1 pit stop with a full tank of fuel. So it gets a little bit more draining, if you want to consider it that, to try and keep your focus that long. At least with the half a tank, they got a couple more chances to get in there and get a breather. And I'm sure, Gary, you could probably relate to that on the oval side. Sometimes you get into whether it's a Daytona race or whether it's even a short track race, you kind of get in there and you get to a point where you're worn down a little bit, physically and mentally, and that pit stop is really not just a breather to get new tires, but it's a breather just mentally and physically.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. More so at the super speedways. Funny enough, your arms are going to get fatigued. Your rear end is going to get fatigued from sitting there. I think something that's not talked about enough is you're constantly moving at those super speedways, and you're fighting a run or you're getting a run. You're always doing something, and that fatigue sets in, and that pit lane is just a nice break. There's no worries. It's really needed sometimes.
Well, we are into the second half of this race as we got 55 minutes left here. It is now Craig Jansick in the lead as Nurburgring has made his pit stop. Looks like Craig Jansick goes an extra lap here, and now he's going to bring the 97 in. He's seen what happened there as I went back and showed you the replay of Jansick having the little mistake that allowed Reiner to get on by in for second. We'll see if Ricky Renner, he is going to stay out for at least another lap here, so really trying to stretch this thing out. There's no way he can make it on just this pit stop right here. He's going to have to make another pit stop before this thing is over, but certainly doing a good job here in the Aston Martin, stretching this thing out. Bourgeois is not too far behind him now. I mean, Bourgeois has already made his pit stop. He's only about 5.5 seconds behind the number 53 right now, but either way, good job here for the drivers, and definitely looking forward to wrapping up this season here and seeing who's going to take home the championships. As of right now, it definitely looks like it's going to be the championship leaders coming in, being Nora Bourgeois, Frank Pisano, and not in attendance here tonight, but and for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Ian Southern not in here tonight, so 2 of the 3 championships going to Canada, and I know it's certainly Jim Dutton has heard his fair share of razzing this week with the whole U.S. and Canada. So we won't get into that. We won't bring up that go USA. We won't bring up that because Canada looking like they're going to sweep 2 of the 3 championships here in this season.
And it might not be the Stanley Cup, but it's still gold.
Well, I think I found the best one that it's silver is something that Canada hasn't seen in a while because they can't get the Stanley Cup there. So at least they got that going for them. But that's beside the point. We'll keep this thing going here, and I keep it friendly, keep it nation friendly, as you're about to head over to the pit road speed limit racing, and you got both the Canadian and national anthems going on over there before the race, which is a nice little send-off before the race every week. Unfortunately, not going to have the typical third broadcaster over there. Colton giving you the gentleman starting your engines, as we're going to be still over here. I'm going to still be over here broadcasting CSRL, so we'll give him the week off. We'll let him sleep early here tonight. But either way, it's been a fun one here tonight.
Cords ready.
yeah, there you go.
I don't know if I can do it as good as Colton, though.
Taking a look back through here, looks like close battle here. After the pit stops, Craig Jansick was able to get out in front of Bryce Reiner, and you see Reiner weaving back and forth there, maybe trying to get in the head of his teammate, and it gives him a little shove there, heading into turn number 1 as the battle right here for second and third, as they're about 5.5 seconds ahead of Ricky Renner, who may be able to play the strategy to a T, in the fact that he's got maybe a little bit fresher tires now. He's got 2 lap fresher tires than Bryce Reiner. We'll see if he's able to run him down at all through the second half of this race, and maybe factor into the podium before this thing is over. But another thing that has happened, Herbert Pineda was able to get ahead of Frank Pisano. Now the question is, can Pineda start driving through the field here a little bit more, get himself up towards that top 5? Will Pisano have any kind of issues here in the second half of the race? I mean, right now, Pisano came in with a big enough lead into tonight's race, and looking at the standings again, over Pineda, it was a 31.5 point lead over Herbert Pineda. So Pineda would definitely need some kind of issue here from Pisano before this thing is over. Steve McLean, unfortunately, back in 15th right now. Kind of role reversal from him and Herbert Pineda. Doesn't look like he's going to factor into the championship here tonight. Looks like an issue here for Glenn Lazan, as we'll take a look back here at the battle between the 69 and the 85, heading down into the chicane. And it's a little curb hop in there and got a little bit loose. Great save there right away for the Martin PC number 69 of Glenn Lazan. And want to thank all our sponsors here for the series for this season. Certainly all seasons here, as 4D Racewear has been on board for quite a long time here, as has Martin PC. Want to thank Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the pole sitters for the series, and Digital Sim Sports for sponsoring the Clean Driver Award for the season, and hopefully we'll get an idea of who that's going to be after tonight's race. And of course, Chris Burrell for sponsoring the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner for each of the races as well. And currently tie for that spot, as we got Michael Schwartz started back there in 18th. He's up 7 spots in 11th. And then the aforementioned Herbert Pineda started back there in 15th. He's up 7 spots into 8th. So right now it would go to Herbert Pineda as the sandbagger, and we'll see if that's where it stays, as it looks like Jim Dutton may have had a bit of an issue back here in the 83. Maybe had the broadcast on for a second and heard us talking about his beloved Canada, and looped it right around.
No.
Not again.
He found some ice in the track.
Well, we are about 2/3 of the way through this thing, about an hour and 10 minutes into the race here, and it's been a grueling one here for some drivers. We've seen some spin outs. We've seen a few drivers having to come in and serve some penalties as well, and it looks like right now Jim Dutton has got a black flag. Not sure if that's from too many incidents or not, but may have to see the 83 come through and take a drive-through penalty. It's something that we haven't talked about, and it's something, Gary, you don't have to deal with really too much. I'm sure there's not too many leagues that have an incident limit on the ovals, but here on the road course, they're pretty popular.
Yeah, it's not something you run into a ton. One of the leagues that I run in, we actually do have an incident counter, just to protect everybody, you know, kind of a integrity thing. And so every once in a while you do see it. Not super common though.
Looking at a good battle back here between Frank Pisano trying to hold off David Tilford, who dives it to the inside. Going to take that position, and now it looks like Michael Schwartz going to try and follow suit as well and move himself up 8 positions, as he is indeed going to do that now, move himself up into the top 10. So exactly what Pineda wants to see happen. Frank Pisano has gotten past here, and now he's starting to slip back a little bit through the field in this Ferrari. And only one of 2 Ferraris here in the field, with Stefan Price back here and the number 98 in 21st. Second place in the silver right now, and not too far behind your leader, Paul Bailey. As we mentioned, it was a big gap, but that was because of the pit stops. But now that the pit stops have cycled through, it is only a 4-second gap between Paul Bailey in 20th position and Stefan Price here in 21st. So definitely not done and dusted just yet. Herbert Pineda, again, leading in the gold. He's got a 3.1 second lead, so again, also not that big of a lead, everything considered here, an hour and 13 minutes in, but definitely a big lead out front. No Bourgeois hasn't put a foot wrong yet here tonight. He's got that hammer down, and he's got almost a 30-second lead at the front of this field.
30 seconds lead. That's quite a little gap there for Noah, and it can pretty much, I'm sure he would be able to save that extra fuel if needed here, but as Carl pointed out, that I read the clock wrong, as they have less than an hour remaining when he came in. He had they're down to 57 minutes. So on schedule for one more pit stop to make it to the end of the way. And Carl, I would take him making a big mistake, and that's one thing No, it doesn't do very often unless it's lap 1.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
after
make
lap
that
1.
mistake.
After lap 1, exactly. But yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, you know, for the Ovaler over here, our co-commentator, I mean, an hour into the race, Nurburgring has 2 laps on the field at a track like Bristol. I mean, it's pretty crazy the kind of pace that he's put on here tonight.
Yeah, Carl, and I think I'm gonna step out of here. I'm gonna work my way over to Pocono, Pennsylvania, and get fired up over there for pit road speed limit. I'm gonna leave you and Gary to finish this up here. I just want to say to all the drivers that maybe watch us back or are listening now, good luck, congratulations on your season. Looking forward to the next one, and yeah, we'll see you then.
Absolutely, we'll definitely be both back here in action for season 16 for the multi-class series, and you see right there the incident with Jason Phillips spinning around. And luckily, I mean, one thing we haven't seen here really tonight, Gary, is we haven't really seen too many multi-car incidents. I know now that the field is kind of spread out and it's less likely for it to happen, but I mean, a lot of the spins here we've seen have, you know, involved a few cars right around there, but everyone's been really good when it comes to car awareness.
I agree. A lot of the things that I've seen are single car spins. You know, staying put until traffic's around them. Really good to see that.
One of the best battles here on the track is the battle inside the podium spots here, as Bryce Reiner still sticking with his teammate Craig Jancic, as they are second and third right now. Craig in the 97 and Reiner in the 87 right there. And both in the Aston Martin as well. The Aston Martin seems to be the choice of a lot of the top drivers at the front right now. Ricky Renner is up there in 5th position as well. Didn't see what happened to him, but it looks like Ricky Renner was just passed by Chris Hamilton, so we'll see what happened here. Hamilton right there in the Audi, which is a car that definitely doesn't get a lot of love anymore, but you see a good pass there into the hairpin for the 64 of Hamilton to take over 4th position. And maybe that's, you know, kind of by design for Ricky as well. He seems like he's been really trying to stretch his fuel out, and not going to avoid another pit stop, but going to go a little bit deeper into the run, or maybe pit around the same time and take a lot less fuel and gain his time back that way.
That was my first thought, Carl. Fuel saving.
Another one certainly to watch back here is Michael Schwartz, and a teammate of Ricky Renner for the SimRaces.com team, and he is up again 8 spots right now in 10th, but just been kind of hanging around behind Dave Tilford for quite some time and following Tilford through the field, as Tilford is up 7 spots himself, starting back there in 16th, and kind of an uncharacteristic bad start for Tilford and even for Schwartz. And you can say the same thing for Pineda, because Pineda is up 7 spots in front of both of these drivers as well. So a lot of drivers up a good chunk of spots. Are your biggest droppers of the race. Tyler Torville, again, going to finish dead last here tonight in 26th. He started up there in 11th position, is going to drop 15 spots. Cesar Colon Torres looks like he is done for the night as well, going to finish in 25th, dropping 11 spots. And then Christian Ortiz Torres started up there. I believe he had the pole for the gold drivers, or at least second place. He started up there in 7th overall, and he is currently running 14th, down 7. But your top 2 are the only ones in the entire field that haven't moved up or down at all, and that is Nurburgring in front now by over 30 seconds. Craig Jancic in 2nd for the time being, with his teammate Bryce Reiner hounding him. But definitely a close battle here as we look at Dave Tilford trying to run down now Herbert Pineda, who wants to hang on to these top spots and have a chance at the gold class championship, as Frank Pisano dropped back a few spots, but not enough to give any kind of comfort to Pineda. But especially when he's got Dave Tilford and Michael Schwartz now hounding down at the rearview mirror.
Avery Pedley around again moments ago.
Take a look back here, and it does seem like this has been kind of the tricky spot of the track. We've seen a lot of drivers solo spin coming out of the long kind of like carousel section there, where you cut back to the right. It seems like that weight shift maybe, and maybe a little curb catching by some of these cars is really upsetting the balance.
I think it is exactly that. That weight transfer is tricky on a tight corner.
Get back here to one of our battles here in the field. And as we mentioned, as Michael Schwartz, Dave Tilford, Herbert Pineda. We'll take a look back a little further in the field. William Burrell is trying to run down a lane below in 17th right now, as Burrell is up 3 spots after starting back there in 21st. As he's got about 9/10 of a second in between him and below. And then another battle a little bit further back is Stephen Price trying to run down the lead here in the silver class. As you see, Paul Bailey still in the lead, but that lead that was out there to 4, 5, 6 seconds is now down to 1. And you see Bailey on your screen. You'll see him here in the hairpin in front of Stephen Price. That is the gap for the silver class win here tonight. Up on board here with, I can find the camera, there it is, with Stephen Price, looking at the back of Paul Bailey, trying to run him down here for the end of this thing. And both drivers certainly want to finish well here tonight. With Ian Southern not here, gives him a chance certainly at the class win for tonight. It was just going to be too big of a hill to climb to get to Ian Southern here for the championship. So we had a chance to talk to him last week, and he did mention he wasn't going to be here for the season finale, and he was kind of bummed out about that. But he's had plenty of chances of winning here for the season in the silver class, and did a fine job. But kind of really interested to see who's going to shake out as the Clean Driver Award winner for the season, because that is a very close battle with a lot of drivers as well. So we'll see who gets the DSS Clean Driver Award. But it looks like it looks like Stephen Price going to fall back here a little bit, gets past, as he is a lap car right now, as is Paul Bailey. So going to fall back here a little bit and maybe hope that the pass here on Paul Bailey is going to bring him right back into the mix of things. But still very close here at the front as well, as took a look at Bryce Reiner and his Aston Martin, looking at the back of the Aston Martin of Craig Jancic, as we are now over an hour and 20 minutes into this thing, so down to 40 minutes, less than a regular night's race here at CSRL. But we'll go ahead and step aside here for a little bit more, give everyone a chance out there, another love to hear it, and then we'll be back for the conclusion of tonight's race. Sights and sounds again here from the Casual Sim Racers League season finale at the Nurburgring GP circuit, and kind of keeping our eyes on a few battles here. You've seen Jason Phillips just completed his pit stop, came out, and looked like cold tires bit him on that one, and he spun out, lost a couple positions there, but we'll see if he has a chance to gain them back. Your leader here in the race, he's been your leader all along, and he's got a massive lead, comes in with about a 35, 37 second lead into pit lane here to make what should be his final pit stop, as we are past the hour-and-a-half mark here. Less than 25 minutes left to go here in the race. Nurburgring making his final pit stop, and Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner second and third, coming through the final sector right now, but it looks like
Reiner late to the pits there, Carl.
Yeah, Reiner into the pits, and it looks like I mean, some tracks you can't cross the red and white lines, but it looks like he may have gotten away with it on this one. He's going to come into the pits. Looks like another incident back here, and it might have been one of our first multi-car incidents here tonight, as you see William Burrell getting loose in the hairpin, and it's only multi-car because it looks like, I believe those lane below had to stop on the track and wait for the 21 to back up, but gets it back going here, and other than that, no damage for anyone out there, and we will get back here to the front. It looks like Nurburgring was able to make his pit stop and come back out with the lead. It gives you an idea of how big of a lead he's got. He's got a 2-second lead right now on Craig Jancic after making his pit stop, and this is the first time I think Jancic's seen Bourgeois for quite a few laps, unfortunately. It's been just utter dominance here tonight.
The Quebec native has certainly been on a tear tonight.
We'll see how this plays out here, as Jancic is still obviously yet to come into the pits. We'll see if the short pit here from Reiner is going to pay off and get him back into second place. Chris Hamilton already made his pit stop. He's out in fourth, as has Ricky Renner. He's back out there in fifth. Renner pitting back on lap 45, so maybe a little early for the 53, as we've seen him go longer for his first couple pit stops. Now it comes in early this time, but maybe he was in his window, want to come in and get it done and dusted. Not sure exactly what happened to Herbert Pinedo. I was trying to look back through and see if we've seen any kind of mistakes, but he's now in the pits to make his final pit stop, but he fell back through the field here a little bit. Frank Pisano is your gold class leader right now once again. He is yet to make his pit stop, as is second place Christian Ortiz Torres in the number 11. Paul Bailey, Stefan Price, once again, is a gap, but only because Paul Bailey has yet to come into the pit. Stefan Price already made his pit stop, so again, we'll see if the short pit there will pay off. As looking here at Reiner, he is about 34 seconds behind Craig Jancic, who looks like he's going around for another lap yet. So Jancic maybe trying to use the overcut to stretch out his small margin over Bryce Reiner, but getting caught behind some lap traffic right there, and that's the problem with staying out, or really going in early as well. It all depends on where you come out in that traffic.
Pit strategy is such a scary thing, Carl. You never know just how it's going to end up working out.
I mean, you can maybe judge it a little bit easier on ovals to try and see, okay, where's roughly, a 15-second pit stop. Where's that going to put me out back on the track? Am I going to be in traffic or not? Here on the road courses, it's a bigger track, so you think you can see some gaps bigger and easier. And I think there are some overlays and some things that you can get that'll tell you, okay, if you pit, this is where you're going to come out, which would be very helpful. It'd be very nice for a crew chief. But it looks like Ricky Renner had a bit of an issue in turn number 1. We'll take a look at it here one more time, and it looks like maybe just a little bit too goosey on the throttle here on exit, and spins that thing around, backs it into the wall. Luckily for him, the rear spoiler stays on, and he's able to get away from that virtually unscathed, as that could have been disastrous for the 53 and his chance to finish in the top 5 here for the season ender. But it looks like as we go back live, Craig Jancic now is going to bring the 97 into pit lane So we keep an eye on Bryce Reiner because this is one of the best battles we've seen throughout the race for second and third between the teammates, and we'll see if Reiner is able to get in front of the 97 on the short pit as he comes through the final sector here, through the chicane, and then in the final corner. And again, keeping an eye on Jancic, still in pit lane, angled, waiting to come out here, but still has not gotten released. And on the front stretch is Reiner. So it's going to be close heading down into turn number 1. You see Jancic is down, rolling away. You see the other Aston Martin coming down. Jancic is going to be able to get out in front of Reiner, but can he get those tires warmed up quick enough to stay in front of the 87?
Oh, if Reiner gets to Jancic here, this is going to be one epic battle.
Yeah, I think teammate, nicey nice. That was good for the first hour and a half. We're down in the last 20 minutes of the race. Maybe not gloves off just yet, but start strapping them on.
Yeah, we are absolutely getting to that point. Curious to see how the strategy works out.
It looks like I'm not sure if SDK is lying to me or not, because it looks like I'm still showing a black flag for Jim Dutton for whatever reason. But it looks like he is still out there rolling up. Never mind. There it is. Maybe it was a new black flag for Jim Dutton as he's going to come in and serve that penalty. He was just about a second and a half ahead of a lane below, but now he's going to come into the pits and surrender 17th position. But we'll get back to the battle at hand for second and third place here, as again under 20 minutes to go, and it's under 1 second between second and third here.
I think the ship is all but sailed for Noah Bourgeois, but this Reiner Jancic battle, Reiner is definitely closing the gap.
Yeah, certainly those first couple laps, and I'm sure you experienced the same thing on the oval side. Those first couple laps on cold tires are not exactly fun. I'm not sure if Jancic even took new tires, but either way, even if you come out on used tires, they get a little cold in the pits, and those first couple laps can get a little skatey.
They are not fun with a position car directly in your rearview mirror. That is for certain.
And you see Reiner getting a little bit bigger in that mirror as well, down to 0.75 seconds. Heading into the first sector here once again. And it definitely seems like there's some spots on the track where Reiner can get the car rotate a little bit better through the corners than Jancic. And you see right here is the corner that Jancic had the issue earlier on in the race, and when he spun and gave that second place to Reiner. And a little bit more tentative through that section right now as he holds on to second.
Absolutely. It looked like Jancic had a better corner exit as well there. I wonder if Reiner catches him. Does he just let him go by?
Last race of the season. I know the points championship is off the table for Jancic, and I know it's teammates, but you can't. Not with the last race of the season. You can't be too friendly. I mean, if this was beginning of the race and you see that your teammates got more pace than you, then maybe. But no, now you're gonna have to fight for this thing. Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And certainly check out our other broadcast that is going on right now with Jimmy and Mike over at the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series, as they are at the Tricky Triangle, and a track that I consider a road course shaped like an oval. It is definitely a different one there, 3 different corners, and it gets the your typical oval driver, sometimes off his game a little bit, Gary.
Yeah, Carl, I've actually got that race pulled up, and lap 1 caution already. 2 cars that to be involved. Off of turn 1, it's like you said, tricky on cold tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter if you're on the ovals or the road here. It's not fun, but this battle getting a little bit closer here as they're coming up on some lap traffic as well, so we'll see how that plays into effect. It's only a half a second difference now in between Jancic and Reiner. And, yeah, two lap cars are right in front of him right now, going to come into play very soon. Your leader, Noah Bourgeois, out to a 35.5 second lead right now. I mean, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, leads we've seen all season. But obviously, given the longer race here tonight, and the fact that he again hasn't put a foot wrong here tonight is looking like it's going to pay off for a big win for him to cap off the championship run. Stefan Price is right there now with Paul Bailey. It's only half a second for the silver class win here, as well as the just noticing right now Paul Bailey in the silver bullet Porsche trying to get the class win here for the silver. But Stefan Price is definitely right there, and he wants to get himself an interview before the season is over, and at least finish the season on a good note. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see with with only 26 cars out here, they've gotten up into the 40s at one point this season, Gary. But I mean, 26 cars for the season finale. One, it's a great showing, but two, the fact that we're an hour and 45 minutes into this race, and we still got some good battles out there. I mean, 3-4 battles right now on the track.
As you say that, Jancic is stuck behind these lap cars with Reiner directly in his rearview mirror. This is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely breathing down his neck right now as they head onto the front stretch, and at least Jancic can use the lap car right now for a little bit of a draft down into turn number 1, but looks like Reiner is able to reel him in a little bit. Will Jancic go defensive? No, he's going to hold his line, go through turn number 1, but you see Reiner able to cut it in there just a little bit tighter, and they're going to be very close going through the first sector here, and Reiner maybe even thought about it for a second to dive to the inside, but he's going to fall back in line as they're all riding right now in a bit of a conga line behind Steve McLean currently, as McLean is in a battle himself. I mean, McLean has got Glenn Lazan right in front of him. They're battling for position, and I mean, it's tough. When you're a lap car, it doesn't matter what you're doing out here. If you're battling for position, you don't really want to look in a rearview mirror. You want to look at that guy in front of you and try and figure out, what I need to do to pass him. All of a sudden, you got second and third overall coming up right behind you, and now you see Jancic's going to dive to the inside. Will Reiner be able to make the pass as well? He's got to try and do it right away. He's going to just clear McLean.
Yeah, I was going to say that's definitely not what you want to see for Jancic. 2 cars fighting for position. They're not going to give any room there. Luckily, they both get around in there.
Another sandwich between Glenn Lazan and Steve McLean, as Lazan is the next one here in that line. Lap car trying to hold off McLean here to the end and through the gravel there a little bit for Reiner, as he's going to be right behind Jancic. 15 hundredths of a second separating them, or 15 tenths of a second separating them right now, heading down into the chicane here one more time, as the clock is starting to tick down. A really great run through the chicane there for Jancic, gained about a half a second right there, so that was pretty big. But the draft's still going to come into play here on the front stretch, and Reiner's been able to use it to a T and reel him in here by turn number 1, as we're down to less than 15 minutes here in the race.
A great section for Jancic there. It'll be curious to see what Reiner does here. Closes the gap, but
and with these drivers clicking off lap times in the sub 2 minute range, we're not going to be too much longer in the tooth here. About maybe 5 more laps left in this race. So, if and when do you make the move is the question. It's something that we talk about all the time on super speedways. When do you make the move? when do you try and go for the win? Well, it's the same thing here on a road course. When do you go for it?
You don't want to be too early. You got to give yourself some time, but you cannot give that other driver time to react and get you back. And that's the scary part. It's a gamble. It really is.
Yeah, it's one where you almost think that going a little earlier than maybe you want to is good, because you may catch them off guard. They're thinking, okay, he's going to make
Absolutely.
a move on the last lap, or maybe 2 laps to go. All of a sudden you make a move with 3-4 laps to go, and they weren't ready for it. Well, you got to make sure that when you make that move, you got the wherewithal to either get away quickly and run, or get ready to defend, because they're going to be looking to do that exact move on you, with a lap or 2 to go. And sometimes it's better to just kind of hang back there and figure out, okay, where are they struggling right now? Where can I make that move? Where can I make that lunge? Because it may not be a spot where you're comfortable with, but if they're just struggling compared to what you're doing, you got to just try and send it in there.
Yeah, I don't know that back chicane is the spot for Reiner. Jancic seems to have that one figured out pretty well.
Yeah, especially the rotation, the exit out of it. It seems like he's doing better every time. But, I mean, this first section right here, it feels like this is where Reiner has the edge on Jancic as closes in here once again to under a half a second.
I think you might be right, Carl. I think Reiner has to take a chance here in the next few minutes, the next few laps. Jancic's on 2-lap newer tires, Reiner?
He is on 2-lap newer tires, yep. Well, if he has tires at all. I'm not sure if either of them took tires on the last pit stop here or not. Well, we'll take a look back at another battle here real quick as Herbert Pineda was able to get around Trent Blaylock, as is the battle for the last spot in the top 10. Herbert Pineda in 10th, Blaylock in 11th, and then Christian Ortiz-Torres not too far behind there in 12th as well. So good battle just outside at the top 10. Steve McLean back here now once again, still trying to battle with Glenn Lazan as he doesn't have to deal with second and third place anymore, but he's got to try and figure out a way to reel back in Lazan for 14th position. And it looks like back here in the silver class, Paul Bailey stretching that silver bullet out a little bit further here, just over a second now, 1.2 seconds ahead of Stefan Price for the top spot in the silver. Michael Schwartz is your top running rookie driver now, as Dace Keeling has fallen back here a little bit in the race. And Schwartz is now the one up there in 9th position and is up 9 spots right now. So he would be in line for, a chance for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award. But it would actually go to the man in 7th right now. Dave Tilford is up 9 spots, just like Michael Schwartz. And he is up now to 7th position. So a good race run here for Dave Tilford and the Lamborghini. Maybe not so much in the qualifying side of it, but he's figured out the race pace. But enough for that. Let's go back to the battle at hand, because it is bumper to bumper here once again. And now under 9 minutes left in this race. Probably got about maybe 3 or 4 laps left. And this thing, I think, is going to go down to the end. I think it's just about time to get those gloves off.
I think it might be. Jancic could feel the pressure from Reiner there on that front stretch. Swerved up and down all track to steal that draft away from him, and Reiner was still able to close that gap there in turn 1.
Well, it's amazing. I'm sure you've seen this on the oval side. If you get in there with with teammates into an oval race or in any kind of race, and how chatty it is through the whole race, all of a sudden you find yourself battling with another teammate to the end of the race, and how quiet all of a sudden the Discord gets. All of a sudden there's nothing said.
Yeah, it's funny how those races turn out. It's a scenario where that Discord after the race, that team channel, could be very, very quiet until the next week.
Well, we're going to see who has the last lap here tonight. Jancic trying to hold on to second place here in the race. I believe he's already got second place in the season locked up, as he had a 41-point lead over Bryce Reiner in third. But again, no one catching No Bourgeois here tonight for the Platinum Championship. But certainly Jancic wants to finish in second here tonight, and I think Reiner just wants to figure out that last sector right there, because if he's able to make the pass on Jancic here in these waning laps, he's still got to get through that sector right there. Maybe he's having a hard time because of some aero wash heading into there. I'm not sure what exactly the case is, but it just seems like Jancic is a little bit better, and that's the final section of the track. So you don't want to mess around right there. It looks like No Bourgeois has a black flag, and it looks like Dave Tilford also with a black flag. I think Bourgeois is well enough ahead that he's still going to be able to serve the black flag and still win this thing. So we'll keep an eye on that. That thing's just got a little bit interesting there. Frank Pisano has now caught Dave Tilford, because Tilford has a black flag. It looks like this might just be a slowdown, because Tilford easily lets Pisano go by right there. So back up the second place here as we close in on 5 minutes left in this race, and it is still a battle on our hands with yet another lap car now coming into play, and I believe this is trying to see if this is Stephen McLean. Oh yeah, it's Jim Dutton coming up here. So yeah, Jim Dutton's gonna do the gentlemanly thing here, pull off to the side. Looks like Ricky Renner is gonna have to serve a black flag, and Dave Tilford now in the pits as well, as he is serving up. Actually looks like Dave Tilford jumping to the pits because he ended up crashing. Let's take a look at that here real quick. And oh, that car is definitely hurt. So we got to go back further and see what happened to the 12. We had a fantastic race going, and looks like the same corner again, catching a car. But this time it was actually Noah Bourgeois that was turned sideways. We didn't even see that. So maybe we'll have to go back to that. So Bourgeois did have a his first moment of the race, and it's late, and he did have to serve a black flag penalty, but same spot. It looks like that little right-hand kink really costing people here, and Bourgeois just drifts back a little bit, catches Dave Tilford, and it's going to cost Tilford a good finishing spot here. But Bourgeois makes his pit stop, his drive-through
contact from Reiner
penalty
on Jancic here in turn 1.
Yeah, we'll get back to the battle at hand for sure.
Jancic stays straight. Oh, Jancic gets loose. Collects it all, though. There's Avery Pedley off the track there.
Yeah, just staying out of the way of the leaders coming by. Still a couple more drivers right up the road here that can play into the mix here. There's actually quite a bit of traffic in front of these two right now, so this thing is far from done and dusted. As a little bit of a gap right now, about half a second in between Jancic and Reiner. So was Jancic maybe holding back here a little bit, and now he's going to put the pedal down? I don't think that's the case. I think he's been trying to do so for quite some time here. He just cannot break free of Reiner here tonight. And man, it is a traffic jam ahead.
This could absolutely be the break that Reiner needs. This is going to be an interesting finish.
Yeah, hour and 56 minutes into the race. This is not exactly what you want to see in front of you, Gary, when you're trying to finish this thing out.
Oh.
We head up to the chicane, and we'll see how this thing plays out. It got up to almost a second there, but this time Reiner gets a better run through the chicane. Looks like one car into pit lane, as Jay Little heading into pit lane. The rest of them are going to stay out. Now they're side by side in front of Jancic. He's trying to flash, trying to get through, trying to fit his way through the middle. Looked like he had to check up there a little bit, as it's not the white flag yet. This is going to be 2 laps to go, but he gets on by, but Reiner does not. He's going to be stuck behind the battle and has to push his way through a little bit. Doesn't happen just yet, and this was not what Craig Jancic wanted to see heading up to this field, but now that's exactly what he wants to see with Reiner stuck behind the traffic. There's still more traffic in front, and they're doing some battling side by side right now, so it's not over just yet. But Reiner needs to figure out a way to get past this lap car and get to the back of Jancic here quick. That is 25 rookie Day Skeeling right now in between Jancic and Reiner.
Yeah, I think, Carl, that's all that boiled down to. That's just kind of a bit of a rookie mistake there. They're not fighting for position. And holding the leaders up during a battle there is tough to see.
Well, we'll see if Jancic is able to work his way through the rest of the lap traffic. He's now to the inside of Trent Blaylock, as Dace Keeling trying to keep up with him, because this is a battle now for position as Keeling goes to the inside. And now here comes Reiner, dives to the inside, finally makes the pass on Keeling. So he's just got Craig Jancic now right in front of him. Does he have time to run him down is the question. We'll hop on board here with Noah Bourgeois as he rounds the final corner. Should be seeing the white flag this time by. And we'll keep an eye out for Barney. I'm not sure if...
oh! Jancic's around!
And Jancic is around. We'll take a look back and see what happened here.
In that section he's been so strong in, Carl. That is a heartbreaker.
And maybe just having to hold up a little bit there for Christian Ortiz Torres, and ends up spinning around here.
Indeed.
He was able to get it back going, keeps it in front of Chris Hamilton, so he'll get a top 3 out of this thing. But Reiner is going to get the break he waited for and needed, and was waiting for a mistake from Jancic, which didn't look like it was ever going to show up. But now he finally gets that break.
Wow.
White flag in the air. This is the final lap, and all that work paid off. So Reiner now in second. It looks like he's lost position here to Dace Keeling, and he's falling back behind him again. He knows that his battle is maybe not with him anymore, so he's just going to hang back in line here. And what a break this is going to be, as he's got about an 11-second lead now on Craig Jancic. So this looks to be done and dusted. It looks like Stefan Price, any chance at the silver win here tonight. Stefan Price had to come in for a stop and go to get a splash of fuel. Was not going to make it here on fuel. The race maybe went one lap further than he thought. So Paul Bailey is going to be able to easily walk away with the silver class win here tonight. But looking at walking away with the overall win here once again to cap it off, get himself the championship, doing a little celebration here already heading into the final corner. Hopefully that's celebrating and not trying to get that thing to the line on fuel. But he is dancing on the front stretch for sure. Lost it, but the checkered flag is out already. Nora Bourgeois, your winner here at the Nurburgring GP. And backing it down backwards down the front stretch, he is your winner. Bryce Reiner, in the midst of all the traffic right there at the end, definitely paid off nicely here for Reiner as he gets second place. Jancic going to have to settle for third, and it's got to feel like one was lost right there to at least finish second. Chris Hamilton now coming around the final corners, and he's going to bring the Audi here into fourth position, so a good finish for him. Frank Pisano already finished up, as he's going to finish in seventh position, but he's going to be the top spot in the gold and win the gold class, as well as you see him doing a little dancing and celebrating outside of turn number 1. Paul Bailey coming around the final corner. He is going to be your silver class winner here tonight, and we'll get it done here in the 569, so we'll get a chance to talk to him as well. And Michael Schwartz, he was tied with Dave Tilfer for pretty much the entire race as the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner, and he is going to get it here tonight, up 10 spots after starting back there in 18th. He finishes in 8th. But we'll give a rundown of the final order. Let me make sure. It looks like we still got Stefan Price waiting to finish this thing up. But Gary, for your first time here in the broadcast booth, we definitely put you to work here for 2 hours for sure. But what are your thoughts here after 2 hours at Nürburgring?
Not being used to this type of racing, was quite unsure coming into this. I can tell you now, leaving, I might go buy a couple more tracks. I bought the GT3 Mustang. It's the best looking car out there, in my opinion.
Agreed.
This was a lot of fun. That last 5 to 10 minutes with that Reiner Jancic battle was outstanding to watch. Unfortunate for Jancic. Great job by Reiner. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, hopefully everyone out there in CRN Nation enjoyed it as well as we did, because I definitely had some fun putting this 2-hour season finale on as well. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Just want to make sure everybody is done and dusted here. And yeah, looks like everyone has now completed, so we'll give a rundown of tonight's finishing order. It is going to be Nora Bourgeois taking the win by only 16 seconds after having the pit road penalty, and then doing a little dance on the front stretch to get the win. Bryce Reiner comes home in second. Craig Jancic, Chris Hamilton, and Jason Phillips for your top 5. Ricky Renner, Frank Pisano, Michael Schwartz, Urban Pineda, and Christian Ortiz Torres for your top 10. Base Keeling on his debut gets home in 11th. Trent Blaylock, Steve McLean, Glenn Lazan, Devin Young for your top 15. Dave Tilford's going to have to settle for 16th. Elaine Below, Jim Dutton, William Burrell, Paul Bailey for your top 20. And then running out the rest of the field is going to be Stephen Price, Jay Little, John Espada, Avery Pedley, Cesar Colon Torres, and Tyler Torville. I want to thank our sponsors here again for the Series 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes. Digital Sim Sports, the sponsor for the Clean Driver Award for the season. We'll try and get an eye on who that is going to be and see if there's anybody clean here tonight over the 2 hours. Martin PC, I want to thank them as well for everything that they've done. Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the pole sitters for each of these races as well. But it's time to get to some interviews. Looks like we got a few of them in here right now. We're going to go ahead and start with our overall winner here tonight because we didn't get a chance to really see him too much out there, but certainly just a dominating performance here. And once again, Noah, you led the first lap. You got through the first lap. You got the win here pretty handily. So, I mean, what was it about Nürburgring here tonight that led to this just dominated performance? I mean, very little times did you put anything wrong except towards the end of this race.
Yeah, huge apologies to Dave Tilford. I just completely blanked out, and I was processing my drive-through penalty that I had accumulated, and backed up right into him. So big apologies for him on that. But other than that, yeah, Nordschleife 24 is by far my favorite race on earth. So I got tons and tons of laps around this place, which is attached to the other big part of the Nordschleife, which I also have tons and tons of laps on. So I've been circling this on my calendar since the very second the schedule came out. I love this place. Everything about it just works perfectly for me. And besides one lap where I spin myself and take somebody else out, it was basically a perfect run.
Yeah, and you can kind of echo that with the year as well. I mean, just a hell of a year for you in the 24 here this season. You come in with a sizable points lead, and you probably could have just started and parked it and still won the championship here this season. It's been that well coming in and that big of a lead, but you decide to come out here and just stomp a mud hole and everybody one last time for the season. So. Definitely, I mean, reflect back on the season as how good it's been here for you.
Well, we got to flash all the way back to Bathurst of last season, the season finale there, where I was just processing that for the entire off season. And I swore to myself that I was not going to let that happen again. Huge shout out to Craig, honestly. Since I joined CSRL, he's been a huge motivator for me by being faster than me at different places and really challenging me. So it's kind of really pushed me this season to just dial everything in and compact that into each and every race that I do instead of being as inconsistent as I was the previous season. So that was really the goal this year. And once I got started off on the right foot, it was basically just rolling momentum the whole time. I didn't really have to face too much adversity to have to fight through it as I did the previous season. So that probably played a big part of it too. But yeah, I had my eyes narrowed on this from the start, and I'm just really, really happy with how everything turned out.
Well, it definitely turned out nicely here for you for the season finale here as well, getting another win before the season is done. So congrats on not only the win here tonight, but the championship for season 15 as well. Before we let you go and get out of here one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to you guys. You guys put on awesome broadcasts. I'm going to go watch that back, my spin, just to see your guys' reaction to me almost throwing it away. Shout out to Jim. He's been awesome for this league, and just everything that he does for it is just incredible. Shout out to all the friends and family out there that support me. Appreciate each and every single one of them. And it's going to be nice to get some time off here. I've probably been going a little too hard at the racing thing lately between special events and this. So it's going to be nice to unwind for a little bit.
Well, definitely take some time and enjoy this one, enjoy this season, as it can't get too much better than this, but never know. I guess we'll see what you have in store. But either way, congrats again on another win and the championship. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Appreciate it, Carl. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That is your winner here for the Platinum Series Championship and the overall win here tonight, the 24 of Nurburgring. Top spot here in the gold class is going to go to the driver of the number 4 Ferrari, Frank Pisano. Gary, why don't you go ahead and take Frank here for the interview?
Hello.
Gary? You got me? Yep. Might have lost Gary here for a second, but Frank, you kind of went back and forth here for the night. I mean, we've seen you leading for quite some time in the gold class, and then all of a sudden, a little bit, kind of like the mid part of that race, we've seen Herbert Pineda able to catch up to you, make the pass, and I mean, you started falling back through the field at that point. Was it a point where you were trying to save a little bit of fuel, or just kind of lost track a little bit in the middle?
Was honestly, the sun came out and then my tires started getting hot, and I was praying for clouds, and then the clouds came back, cooled the track down. Yeah, it gave me a little more grip. Yeah, it was a fun race. Herb definitely had more pace than me. Yeah, but he had a lot of incident points, and he ended up getting a drive through.
Okay. I was wondering what happened because I didn't see an incident from him, that he spun out or something like that. But all of a sudden I looked over and he's 3-4 spots behind you. So I seen you were back up in the lead. And really, I think it would have taken, quite a big mistake from you here tonight. He came in as the gold class leader, and Steve McLean just didn't seem like he was on pace tonight to kind of hang with you guys. Herbert Pineda maybe had a shot, but again, you would have had to finish quite a ways behind him. So how good does it feel to wrap up the gold championship?
It feels great. Yeah, tonight I was just trying to stay out of everybody's way and just get myself a decent finish. But yeah, it feels good. Had a lot of help throughout the season from my teammates at Ace Motorsports. We have a good time. We have a great time in Discord while we're racing, and our weekly practices. Helping each other out. It's a good place to be. Yeah.
We appreciate you being the lone American getting a championship here too. As the Canadians dominating there in the platinum division and the silver division, they're both grabbing the championship. So we need an American win somewhere.
yeah, it's just right. I just realized that. And I don't know how it all went out, but Ian Southern, my teammate,
yep,
he showed up late and he wasn't able to make this race. Did he end up winning the silver division?
Yeah, I would think so, because he came in here with about a 76-point lead, and all the silver drivers finished out towards the back of the pack. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he had that locked up as well. So yeah, so certainly a couple of you guys get to celebrate this one into the next season, and certainly enjoy it. But you get to celebrate here with a win here as well. So congrats on the win here tonight, the championship as well. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'll give a shout out to my wife. She's upstairs. She lets me come down here on Wednesday nights and do my thing. Shout out to my Ace Motorsports teammates. Love you guys. I'll get well soon for my teammate Todd, who had back surgery. He's on the mend, but we miss him. We miss him on track.
Yes.
And shout out to you guys and the admins and everybody at CSRL. I'm having a gas here.
Well, we appreciate that, buddy, and yeah, we echo the sentiments, and definitely want to see Todd back out there on the track as well soon. So, congrats again on your success this season. We'll see if you can continue it in the season number 16 coming up with the multi-class, and see how that all plays out here. You get to catch it here on CRN, so we're looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, buddy, that is your gold class champion here and winner here tonight, the 4 of Frank Pisano getting it done. Gary, do we have a copy there?
Yes, we do.
Okay, all right. We got one more. Yep, we're good. We got one more driver here to get the win, and that is the silver class winner here tonight, Paul Bailey. Gary, you want to take Paul Bailey here for the interview?
Yeah, Paul, just talk to us about tonight for you.
Yeah, I just kind of drove my own race, and I had somebody on my tail pretty much most of the time. And yeah, I was waiting for Stefan to make a move a few times, and he pitted, and then he wasn't near me for a while, and then I pitted, and there he was at the end of the race, and I think he ran out of fuel, so I kind of got lucky on that one.
Yeah, I think you're right there. You and Stefan were neck and neck all night long. That was what good to see. How's the season been for you?
Been all right. You know, just hanging out in back most of the time and just having fun racing with the group. And yeah.
To wrap it out, Carl.
All right, buddy. Well, I mean, listen, it was a good season for you. Certainly a good season ender here for you, getting the silver class win, and yeah, like you said, Stefan was definitely hunting you down. Maybe him pushing to try and get to you is what ran him out of fuel. But either way, you
Yeah.
get the win here in the silver bullet Porsche. It's definitely an apt paint job here for tonight.
Yeah, it worked out. I think first win actually. So, you know, win's a good thing, and win on a 2-hour long race makes it even better.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'm gonna shout out to Megan and Chris, a couple friends of mine. They're on a cruise right now, and be seeing them in Cup Karts next weekend in Charlotte for a big go-kart race.
Nice, nice. Well, I certainly would rather be on a cruise myself than dealing with the crap weather here in Pennsylvania, but that's beside the point. That's a whole nother conversation. Either way,
Oh yeah.
either way, congrats on the silver class win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and hopefully we'll see you again next season.
Yep. Thank you. See you then.
That is your silver class winner here tonight, finishing in the top 20 as well. 569 of Paul Bailey. Last but not least is going to be the man that was trying his best to get that hard charger sandbagger award win here tonight, and unfortunately for Dave Tilford, he got it taken away from him here tonight. But you didn't mind, Michael. You had a heck of a run here tonight, and you finished up 10 spots, finishing in the top 10 here tonight, and it was a heck of a good run, and it looked like you were kind of always right there by somebody looking to battle.
Yeah, Tilford and I were we were nut to butt the whole race. I mean, we were 3/10 to 8/10, and we're behind Pineda, and we kind of just worked our way up. He started a couple of positions in front of me, but yeah, we worked our way through consistent. And on the last pit stop, I, like a rookie, forgot to deselect my tires, so I'm like bumbling going through pit lane slow, so I lost time to him there, and me good on him. He did his job, did what he's supposed to. So he got me on that last pit stop, and he got, I don't know, like 5 seconds out, and I thought that was it, because our speed is not different enough that I can, chase him down 5 seconds in 15 minutes. And yeah, I mean, I stuck it out and dodged all the chaos and brought it home. So I was pretty happy, because I had a pretty awful qualifying. I'm not much of a Ford guy, but yeah, it turned out good. Sometimes you just got to be there to finish,
Well, it's kind of funny, and I almost kind of look at how you drove through this race, and it reminds you of something that I like to do, and that's if I'm out there driving by myself, I got nobody in front of me, nobody behind me. I don't want to say I get kind of lackadaisical, but I can't focus as much. I need a rabbit out there, and it feels like Tilford was kind of your rabbit here tonight.
Yeah, him and Pineda. Pineda's, can be fairly aggressive, so he kind of blazed the trail for us. He got like off pit sequence or something like that, but Tilford and I had a few tenths on him. It was just a matter of trying to get the pass done. But yeah, we ended up off sequence on pits, and so we got by him that way, and it was just Tilford and I left. And like I said, we were bumper to bumper until he did the right thing in the pits. And but we're battling on our Thursday league too in core, so me and him are neck and neck in that, and points with a few rounds to go. So definitely no stranger battling with Tilford. It's fun because we're super close and in speed, and he drives clean, and I certainly try to. So fun to race with him in here, and yeah, I'm just glad I didn't finish back where I qualified P16, 17, something like that. So heck of a race. And like I said, man, the 2-hour events, like sometimes there's an art in just being there at the end. It's not always luck, a little bit of foresight, reading the room, reading the passes happening and the battles going on around you, being able to read that stuff and be there in the end. There's a little bit of an art to that too. It's not always luck.
Well, it seemed like it was maybe an art for staying away from the drive-through penalty as well. We've seen a few cars having to deal with the drive-throughs here tonight. Were the off tracks kind of that prevalent out there?
Yeah, the 1Xs were plentiful to grab, and not necessarily really easy to mark. You'd cut one just a little tight through like turn 3, 4, 5 and think you're okay, but you still pick one up. And so I was monitoring mine, like I had 4 at the 30-minute mark, and I mean I was flirting close, and I tried to tighten it up as best I could to leave myself some breathing room towards the end. I mean I still think I ended up with 13. So I was definitely flirting close, but it was, I mean, honestly, something I was managing the whole race, or certainly being cognizant of. And we saw that play a factor with a few guys getting, I mean, even Noah got a drive through. Obviously Tilford did. And I think maybe that was why Pineda pit. Maybe he had a drive through, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, see that's a factor too. Those 1Xs over a 2-hour race, they're their own player, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you played your way through the field here, and you used the a few rabbits out there to work your way through the field and finish up with the most spots gained here. So the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight to yourself. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Oh, probably Renner. We got Renner and Nickerson. Nate, he's a friend of ours that races us in the Thursday League. They're kind of the go-to guys. Strategy, always helping me out strategy, and we're looking at laps together, data together. So, simraces.com boys and Renner and Nate Nickerson.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the the good finish, and certainly better than your qualifying effort here tonight. So, congrats on the run through the field. We'll let you go celebrate, and hopefully we'll see you next season.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. You running a great league, and looking forward to next season too.
I appreciate it, buddy. That is your Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. Michael Schwartz finishing up the most positions. We're gonna get one more interview in here tonight, not necessarily for a great drive out there. We certainly seen the '83 of Jim Dutton on camera a few times, but maybe not for the best finish back there in 19th. But Jim, we got you up here in the booth right now. A bit of a tough one out there tonight at the Nurburgring.
It was. Not my favorite track right now, but that's okay because it was a fun time had by all, and I'm pretty sure we had the most people we've had for one of these longer races, so that was good to see. And it's amazing to see how fast some of these guys are. Like Noah and Greg and Bryce are just insane.
It's okay. You can say it's annoying because it can be. It's okay. You're in the trust tree right now. It's okay.
Yeah. This isn't getting broadcast anywhere, is it?
No, well, we
Anyway.
can cut this. We can cut this. It's okay. We got editing.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. No, so I mean, whatever. I had fun. I'm glad that I got to experience it, and I'm glad that it's over. And yeah, it was fun. So,
Well, you mentioned this one's over. This season is over. It's done and dusted now. Season 15 in the books, which is amazing in itself. For any league to make it 5 seasons is a success. You guys have been around now for 15. We've been a part of you guys for multiple seasons now at this point, and definitely looking forward to being a part with you guys for season number 16 coming up as well. So, I mean, before we even get to talking about season 16, just talk to me about the success that you, the admins, everybody here at CSRL has been a part of for 15 seasons.
well, we're lucky that people are patient with us and go along with all the changes that we do make, because we try to make little changes to make the series better, and sometimes those changes don't go over so well. So I'm happy to see as many people here as there are. The one big draw that I think we have is that no matter how quick you are, you always have somebody to race. And I think that was even true tonight for most people. Like I did see a bunch of packs passing me. So there's that. But yeah, no, it's been good. Like to average 30 to and sometimes break the 40 car count, it's awesome. Especially for a free league, and to run a 2-hour race on a Wednesday night, and have 26 drivers show up is
it can be a
really,
tough
really
ask.
quite a feat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we deal with the same thing on Thursday nights with the Core GT series for their season finale with it being 2 hours. So you expect the numbers to dip a little bit, but the fact that you still have over 25 out here is definitely a success for you guys as usual. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned over 40, this season. I know you guys have been reaching for it and scratching for it and putting out prizes for it to finally get there. And this year you finally cracked 40. So, I mean, it's another milestone for you. Now next season, you talk about some drivers going a little faster. Well, some of the fields are going to be going a little faster next season as you guys go multi-class racing.
yeah, I'm really, really excited to be able to announce that we are going to be running LMP2 class as well as the GT3 class. We did a survey to ask, and it was mostly affirmative. All but like 1 or 2 people said they would race anyway if they didn't like it, and it was about 50-50 as far as like car splits. So hopefully that that bodes true. It'd be really nice if it did. I don't know. We're going to start signups either tonight or tomorrow just to get out in front of everything. We're holding a test race next week just to see how everything goes, and you know, from there we will make a few changes and massage it a little bit. Make sure that you guys don't have too many people to interview after a race, because you know it can be a lot. And you know, just make it a fun package for everybody. Come out and, you know, enjoy Wednesday night with us, because that's all we could ask for.
Well, for anyone out there that's looking for you know, for a league on Wednesday nights and looking to join for next season, how is it going to work with the LMP2s and the GT3s? Is it one where you have to kind of be qualified in there to run for the LMP2s? Can you choose whatever you want? Is there going to be classes for each division?
So there's going to be a pro and an AM class for each division, which means you will have 4 people to interview. But it won't be, you know, 3 classes per, like we had the 3 classes this time around. We are going to, if one side looks a little lopsided on the registration, people can pick whatever car they want. But if it is looking a little lopsided, we will close registration for one class and only allow them to pick the other class. So we keep the numbers balanced that way. And if somebody picks the wrong class to race in, they don't get awarded any points for that race. The points follow the car class. So.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. For anyone looking to get in next season, get in early if you want to pick the class that you want, so you can lock yourself in there. Well, it was a blast here once again for season number 15 for you guys, and it was definitely some good racing. And it's one thing I have a new commentator in here, Gary Breland, with us here tonight. Jimmy was here for about 2/3 of the race here before he had to step out and get the other broadcast going. But Gary is an oval guy, and you may have swayed him here a little bit, because he said he's ready to go out there and buy a few other GT3 cars and get out there, because I mean, watching some of these battles out here, especially the battle for second place between Jancic and Reiner for majority of this race. We had battles for the top spot in the silver with Bailey and Price. I mean, there was 2 hours into this thing, and there's still battles all across the track. So that's definitely what you want to see as a league owner as well.
Absolutely, it was great. It was a good night.
Well,
thank you very much for everything you do.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, and we appreciate the opportunity as always. Before we let you go and get out of here tonight, who do you want to thank, and who do you want to give a shout out to for season number 15?
So definitely Tyler Turville, William Burrell, and Craig Jancic. They've all been fantastic as on the admin side of things. All the racers that come out week in, week out, and you know, try this out and join and really like compete in the league. Everybody that watches you guys of course, my girlfriend and family for being patient with me, because I do sink a fair bit of time into this, and yeah, that's about everybody I could mention, I think. Just, you know, grateful that I'm able to do this.
Well, again, we appreciate the opportunity season in, season out. It's been a blast for us, and me and Jimmy definitely have a great time. We're both looking forward to being back next season, seeing what you guys can do with the multi-class racing. See who decides to go which class as well is really what we're kind of intrigued with to begin with, before it's kind of the season before the season, the silly season, I guess, if you want to consider it that. But either way, want to thank you here once again for everything that you do to help us out and help all these drivers out here, because they definitely love being here just as much as you may get frustrated at times, but they definitely appreciate everything that you do as well. So thank you from CRN as well. But we'll let you go, get out of here, wrap up the season with your boys, and we'll see you in season 16.
Sounds good. Thanks very much.
Congrats on another season, Jim.
Yep. Thank you.
That is the man behind the curtains here, Jim Dutton, the driver of the 83, as he's been making CSRL go around here for quite some time. And definitely congratulations to all the success leading up to this, and hopefully season 16 and further continues that success as well. I want to thank again everybody out there for tuning in for tonight's season finale for CSRL. Not sure if the other race is still going on yet at Pocono for pit road speed limit. But
It sure is, Carl.
all right.
24 to go and another caution.
Well, there you go. So we still got some racing in line. If 2 hours wasn't enough, hop over there and watch Jimmy and Mike finish up that race there for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series. But that is going to do it for season 15 here for the CSRL GT Series. Not too long until we'll start up season number 16. But for myself, Jimmy, and Gary here in the booth, we'll see you at the track.
See ya.